Hello, hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. We're still in the lounge with our good boys. Yeah. The pair look over to you when you speak up. You move to take the stool next to Kota. The dragon wipes his mouth with his napkin and gives you a small nod of greeting.
Morning, boss man. We was just telling Kota here about a little idea I had to go out stargazing.
Huh? What brought this on? The griffin rubs at the back of his neck.
I don't know. It's something I used to do all the time, back when I was a kid, and I guess I've just been itching for it. Don't get me wrong, running this joint's the most fun I've had in years. But I ain't no spring chicken, so even I need to take a break sometimes, you know. Between cooking, cleaning, and trying to figure out where shit's disappearing to, a guy can get pretty damn worn out.
Disappearing?
Yeah, it's the weirdest damn thing. It's something I'll be fixing up a nice platter of burgers, go off to clean, and then half of them up and walked right off. Or I'll go to the cold room for a few cans of beans, and see we're out. When I knew I stocked up last time I was in there.
That's really weird. I don't think one of the guests would be sneaking into the kitchen for food when they can just ask to have it served. Could the hotel be doing it somehow?
You and Asterion would know more about this crazy voodoo shit than how the crazy voodoo shit works than me, boss man.
I guess I can ask him. But yeah, if you need a break, then this could be good. After everything's that's happened over the last few days, I think we could all use it. You and Luke both look over to Kota. The dragon continues to chew his mouthful. His expression thoughtful, and then he swallows and speaks up.
A few nights ago, I met up with Asterion out in the hotel's porch. This was just a little while after I arrived, and...
He glances to Luke and then away. Before the silence can grow too awkward, he clears his throat and continues.
In any case, we ended up having an enlightening conversation while he played his lyre, and the night sky was indeed quite breathtaking. I suppose it would be nice to do something like that again.
Alright, it's a plan then.
The griffin smiles, and his eyes shine like the stars he sees. He seems to love so much.
Oh man, this is gonna be great. We can get a few cans of beers out and get some lawn chairs set up, and
Luke pauses, grins, and looks at you.
Hey, think your magic hotel shit can whip up a telescope for us?
It's difficult to make complicated objects. You have to be able to tell the hotel how. But I think there are schematics for different machines, telephones, and stuff like that down in the bedrock. Asterion told me he got everything organized on one of the tables. You can take a look there and see if you can find anything for a telescope. If not, we can try to get something drawn up.
In the bedrock, huh?
Luke hems and haws for a moment. He scratches at the underside of his beak. His tail flicks behind him.
All right. You open the way, and me and Blue Boy'll find that
schemad.
In a jiffy.
Excuse me, me?
Well, yeah, 2 pairs of eyes will find what we're looking for faster than one, right?
The dragon looks to you, and you give him a helpless shrug in return. Luke's right, and even if Kota doesn't want to admit it, all 3 of you know it.
You're going to pester me until I say yes, aren't you?
Yup.
The face on the griffin's shameless smile. In the face of the shameless smile, Kota can only sigh and shake his head and resign himself to his fate.
Very well. I suppose we should make our way down sooner rather than later. Yes.
Hey, listen, before you do, can I tell you something? Well, you glance around and then, gesture the dragon and griffin in close. It's about Asterion.
Is everything alright?
I think so. It's just... Kota and Luke wait for you to gather your thoughts. You weigh each word before you speak, trying to decide how much to tell them. How much? Yes, how much you have to tell them. Wait, have the right to tell them, that's it. He's been through a lot. You remember how the hotel was when we were just reopening, right? The griffin nods. His expression drops into something that could almost be considered serious. Well, his family isn't able to keep the hotel in good shape since the last master abandoned it. When I came around, it was just Asterion here. So he's been through a lot, and things can get difficult for him sometimes. I know we had fun last night, but this morning he might need a little time. Luke nods. Then he speaks in a quiet, even tone that's surprising to hear from the griffin.
He can talk all the time. He can take all the time he needs. We ain't gonna force him to come out with us. But if he's feeling better by tonight, both he and you sure are welcome to join the fun.
Thank you, Luke. The griffin tips you a wink, and his heavy paw claps on your shoulder.
Of course, it's the least I can do for him. So, shall we?
Yes.
Right. With that said and done, the three of you break your huddle. You open the passage to the bedrock for them, humming just like Asterion taught you. After seeing the griffin and dragon off, you resolve to check in on what else needs to be done. The hotel is alive once more, and it is the master's duty to take care of the guests who pass through its open doors. But first, breakfast. The griffin and dragon make their way down the windy stone hallway, and their footsteps echo in the silence surrounding them, rushing ahead into the labyrinthian depths, awaiting the pair.
So, back here again.
The silence falls again, a stifling blanket that engulfs the pair, and just when it starts to become unbearable, it's broken by a low, steady, whining noise sound.
Will you stop that?
What's the matter now? Don't like my whistling?
To be frank, it sounds like someone is strangling a cat.
Rude. I ain't scared, you know. I mean, what's there to be scared of? It's just a creepy basement. In a freaky magic hotel.
Yes, nothing to be scared of at all. Can you let go of my arm? I think I'm starting to lose circulation.
No, sorry.
Luke's hand jerks away, rising up with palms out, while he gives Kota a sheepish grin. The two continue down the passageway, while neither acknowledge it, their shoulders continue to brush together, as if confirming the other's presence. And then they turn one last corner and stand on the threshold of their destination. Back when he, Angus, and the others were down there trying to get the Wi-Fi working, Luke had been able to distract himself from the oppressive wrongness that filled the room. And now there's no one to serve lunch, too. No fine-ass man to ogle while they brute and sweat and bend over. And the feelings brush the nape of his neck and slides like an icicle down his back.
After you.
No, please, I insist. After you.
Nah, it's fine. Ladies first, right?
Truly, I beg your pardon.
On three.
That would be acceptable.
Alright, here goes. 1,
2.
3.
With a deep breath hissing through his clenched teeth, the dragon rushes forward into the room. He pauses, waiting, and then a soft giggle from behind causes him to blink. He looks back to the room's entrance and catches Luke trying and failing to stifle another burst of laughter.
That wasn't funny.
Come on, it was a little funny.
Kota lets out a heavy sigh and crosses his arms, even as he tries to huff and glare at his erstwhile companion. The corner of his mouth twitch upward. Perhaps it was just a little bit funny.
Well, if you're quite finished playing around.
Yeah.
The griffin moves towards one of the tables and starts searching through the stacks of documents.
Mr. Joss said the, skib whatever sits, should be over here, right?
That's correct.
Kota watches Luke rifle through the papers, wincing as a few drop off the table to scatter on the floor. While the griffin makes a mess of Asterion's handiwork, the dragon's gaze begins to wander. To the wall of obsidian, filling half the room. To the bottom basin as at the center of the massive chamber. To the piled up instruments along one wall, and then to the folders lined up on another nearby table. Contracts. Kota isn't sure at first what draws him to approach, and begins flipping through those folders. But as he hums to himself, he searches out names, descriptions. Descriptions, anything that might spark a single hint of familiarity. When he had asked Mr. Josh and Asterion, they both said that they didn't know of any guests like the man he was searching for. It wasn't like he didn't believe them, but perhaps it was further in the past than Asterion's family could remember. Perhaps Mr. Josh, being new and inexperienced, wouldn't even know where to look in the records. Perhaps it wasn't the Red Dragon. But one of the names Kota had sought out when his journey first began, hiding something within those pages. Perhaps. It was less than unlikely, but the mere possibility was like an insistent itch, and Kota had long ago lost the ability to resist scratching.
Wait a moment.
Ah!
The piercing shriek derails Kota's train of thought, and then something warm, feathery, and smelling of bacon grease and musk slams into his side and wrapped his arms around him.
Luke, what are you? Let me go.
There's something over there.
The dragon's eyes follow Luke's trembling finger towards a nearby pile of junk. He's about to speak when the sound of pattering feet cut him off. A shadow moves behind one of the tables. Something breathes in the heavy silence. Kota looks at Luke. Luke looks at Kota.
Well, come on then. Let us see what it is.
Kota edges towards the source of the sounds. Luke, meanwhile, takes a moment to grab a heavy paperweight before following. Slow, careful, quiet. They edge towards whatever is in there with them. Luke looks to Kota. Kota looks at Luke. The dragon nods, and a silent count begins. 1, 2, 3. Kota grabs the table and heaves it away from the wall with a loud with a loud roar, while Luke surges forward with a predatory screech and his weapon held high.
Yeah!
What? Hello? What? The little creature flinches and screams as its hiding place is yanked away. With a yelp of fear, it tries to scramble back into the shelter of the table.
Get away!
Something slams into Luke's back, wrapping thin arms around the griffin's neck, and a high-pitched war cry, and then the pile of junk erupts, and another little creature flings itself at Kota. What? Pandemonium fills the room, grunting and screaming, scattering and scrambling. Kota stumbles and trips over a thin-limbed body, and Luke staggers and grunts with every blow of tiny fists on the crown of his head. And while the two were surprised by the assailant, they are both larger and stronger. Luke reaches to grab the thing clinging to its back, and even as the creature snaps and snarls and squirms and grasp, the griffin manages to pull it off. So there's three of them? Kota, meanwhile, rolls on the ground to grab the cowering little thing that tripped him up in the crook of one arm. The creature that slammed into the dragon's side tries to scamper away, but despite his size, Kota is swift. Okay. He surges like a tide to engulf the fleeing foe. These guys are great. I love them. The pair finally stand, bruised and bruised and but victorious. The wiggling opponents let out shrill squeaks of panic, and they're carried over and sat down near the obsidian wall. When the little creatures look around for an exit route and see the dragon and griffin boxing them in, they wail and huddle together while cowering on the floor.
Let us go! We didn't mean it. Please, don't hurt us.
The dragon and griffin stare down at the diminutive reptilian beings. Luke takes in the scrapes of clothing the trio were wearing. Scavenged, no doubt. While Kota tucks at the sight of their pallid scales and sunken features. It's the griffin who finally sighs and crouches down to edge closer to the shaking lizard.
Hey, relax, little guys. We aren't gonna hurt you.
Kota grumbles, but nods as he brushes himself off and straightens his clothes. The griffin, meanwhile, extends one of his hands towards the lizard trio. They flinch and whimper, but don't move away as he places his palm atop the middle one's head.
There we go. See ya. Poor little guys. You ain't nothing but skin and bones.
The griffin's hand pets and strokes the lizards in turn. Their stiff bodies relax and stop trembling.
Hey, now that I think of it, you're probably the crittens stealing stuff from the kitchen, ain't ya?
A guilty squeak escapes the chubby lizard.
We had to. It's been so long since we saw so much food. We've been starving so long, and we won't do it again. Honest, let us go and...
Whoa. I ain't one to let someone in need go hungry. You come along with me, and I'll get those bellies full up faster than a bucket in hurricane season.
Really?
At least the trio looks up to the griffin, trying to gauge the sincerity of his words. The prospect of food, a food they don't even have to steal, seems to calm them down after almost as much as Luke's scrunching finger. Luke glances over to Kota. A sheepish expression crosses his face, and he's quick to clear his throat and drops his gaze in embarrassment.
So, what are these guys?
I believe you have an idea. Regardless, they aren't a threat. In fact, it seems that they are in much need for shelter, as any other guest of the hotel.
Yeah. In that case, guess we should tell Mr. Josh and Asterion about them.
As at the mention of the Minotaur's name, Kota's gaze drops to the floor.
Indeed.
What's wrong, Blue Boy?
It's nothing, although...
Kota returns to the table on the other side of the room, picking up the file folder he'd been flipping through before the interruption.
Would you mind confirming something for me, Mr. Walter?
Walker's that, yes. He holds the folder out to the griffin.
Sure. What you need now?
Just read, and I think you'll understand.
Alright.
The dragon hands the document over. Luke begins to flip through them.
Huh. What in the hell?
I think I'll end the part here, so I'll see you around, everyone.